Hello, everybody. Stocks put in a nice little reversal today on heavier volume, but we're definitely not out of the woods yet. We're still very range bound in the worst 2 months of the summer, so I don't recommend running out and getting fully long here. Actually saw a lot of traders very excited about today's intraday reversal, and while it's great, until I see any kind of follow through whatsoever, it's nothing but one day. We could easily be down another 2% tomorrow on heavier volume. That would really get this, and I bet you that would really start spiking the fear up. But who knows? We could rally. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. We are range bound overall, and while today's rally was good on higher volume, it still is day one, so you must treat it like that. It is day one of a rally attempt. None of the oscillators on the NASDAQ are confirming the move. The New York Stock Exchange, we have slight turn-ups, but nothing great there either. And even then, for an automatic reversal day, and like I said, to hammer out a bottom, you need fear, and we have no fear out there. The VIX did spike up all the way to 16.28, which I believe is slightly higher than the July highs, which was 16.27, but then it finished all the way down back at 13.61 and is still well below those July levels that were above 20. Nowhere near fear, and I want to remind you all, back in 2008, this thing spiked up all the way to 89. So when we compare 16 to 89, I'm sorry, I do not perceive that as fear, so hence I still don't see a quote-quote bottom in this market just yet, but who knows? Anything can happen. We just had a couple of house cleaning items. CYNO is a 100% sell signal. Confirmation close below 50-day moving average. I've already been taken out of all of it. SBNY, I got taken out of all of it yesterday. And today, confirmation close below 50-day moving average on above average volume. So that is also a full sell. Both of those are very tiny losses for the end of it. And then WNS is closing below the 20-day moving average on above average volume. That's a 50% sell. I would move the final sell stop to today's low of day or here. It's up to you. I'm going to probably keep it at 28.86 because, I got knocked out of half of it. I think it was even yesterday I did, or maybe it was today. I don't know. I haven't checked. But I think it was yesterday, actually, because I think my first sell stop was below 29.52. And it was yesterday. Got knocked out yesterday. And then also SNFCA, speculative long signal. Not really a big deal. Closing below 20-day moving average on above average volume. That's also a 50% sell signal. But besides those four stocks, though, I didn't have any other signals sell-wise. But I did receive some buy signals today, and there's some other possible buy signals, but I'm not too sure about them, so we'll just see. I kind of got like quasi ad signals on LXFT, but after really looking at it, 61.54. It's volume's only slightly above average. It wasn't confirmed anywhere. So it is a perfect speculator scan stock, but pocket pivot point signal, you could go long. I technically should. It's technically a buyback because I got shaken out of some of it here, so that's what I might do, but I'm still not sure yet. So I might buy back what I got shaken out of on the 6th in LXFT. And then similar situation, DY, also a perfect speculator scan qualifying stock. I got shaken out of half of it on the 7th, I do believe. And now it's giving a pocket pivot point over 50-day moving average. So I might have to buy back those two. So those are two buyback possibilities. But like I said, I don't know yet. So that's up in the air. The only thing I do know for a fact right now are these long signals. I got another pocket pivot point signal in XES. That's the oil and gas equipment and services ETF. So we'll be going long that signal. First sell stop is below 21.64. Final sell stop is below 20.70. Risking a lot on the last half of the position, but overall pretty good looking. ETF confirmed everywhere in oil and gas names and oil and gas ETFs and the futures market, so we look good to go there. But that's a 2.5% signal because it is an ETF. All ETFs are 2.5% signals minimum unless they're leveraged. Then they can get as low as 1%, but there's no leverage here. And then also long signals in BYD. It's a 1% long signal, pocket pivot point signal off strong support near the 50-day moving average. This is technically a CanSlim quality name, so 1% in this name using today's low a day as the final absolute sell stop and the only one. And CTXS, this is a CanSlim quality name. Once again, while these chart patterns kind of look like a little bit like on BYD. If you look at a weekly, you see how tight it is, and CTXS, same thing. On a daily, it kind of looks a little bit loose, but when you look on a weekly, you'll see how tight this most recent base-on-base consolidation is. But pocket pivot point signal, surge and bop, everything looks good on this one. We don't risk much if we're wrong. First sell stop below today's low a day, and then if you're really brave, you can use the earnings gap up to 72.82, which I am on half the position because it's about a 5% risk, and that's not bad. Only 1% of my account capital. And then also a real estate related stock, First Industrial Realty Trust, pocket pivot point signal, trying to break out post an earnings gap up. So once again, another earnings winner that's held up well in this market environment. And that's the same feature with all these CTYX, BYD, and FR. All of them, have done well post earnings. So everything is looking good there for all of these guys. Once again, don't risk much. You're wrong. You could use 2066 as a final cut loss, 2044 or 2019, but either way, you don't risk much in this one at all before you know that you are wrong, and all of these could run easily if we continue to bounce. And speaking of that, if you remember 2 days ago, I said I wanted to set a buy stop on NYMX, but I did not because the 20-day moving average was not touching the price. Hindsight is 2020. I should have done that. The stock moved 23% in 1 day today. All I can say is, whoops, what are you going to do? So NYMX is a miss. Maybe it pulls back, gives me at 284, but I don't think earnings are out yet, and I didn't want to really get long this thing before earnings unless the space was longer, so I'm really not that upset that I missed it. It's going to happen. And then also other potential buybacks, EGRX. I got shaken out of my entire position today, and with today's reversal and heavier volume, it could be trying to find support, but it finished well off those intraday highs, so it very well could be topping out. Once again, no man's land. Anybody that says they know what's going to happen next is a fool. Don't believe them. And then also MANH got shaken out of half. I decided yesterday to go ahead and move half my sell stop, half the position that I have on the book sell stop to 63.14. Obviously cut through that and has moved all the way back to close higher than where it opened. So what I want to do is I want to set probably a buy stop above 67.15 on that share, and then that way if I get back long it won't matter. And it's really a bad trade on my end because I already got shaken out of half the position on this date, 8-7. So then to go ahead and reset, I don't know, the market was looking weak yesterday, so I really don't blame what I did, and it really is the only stock that did this today besides Sienna, which was a full sell, so it doesn't matter. That was like, those were really the only two stocks I was like, man, really messed up there. EGRX, yeah, possibly. We'll wait and see. If I do set a buy stop on that, it would be above yesterday's high a day. But overall, you can see we still have some bounce candidates, but everything that I just showed you, none of those looked good. And the best looking current candidate that I have as a long position is KFRC. It's another earnings winner. It's had max green bop every day since its earnings win. Excellent price action on very heavy accumulation post earnings. So I'm going to set a buy stop above 28.65. This I am definitely going to do tonight, like no doubt about it. So KFRC, going to have a buy stop just above 28.65. But once again, only 1% of my account capital until I get a follow-through day or more volume and more confirmation that this market bounce is going to turn into anything. I'm keeping it small because, once again, a new long position that we took yesterday, HDP, still looks great. Technical pattern is wonderful. I love the way that this setup looks. IPO, love the sales growth, love the mutual fund ownership growth, love the technical condition. But we went long yesterday. First sell stop was below yesterday's low a day, and sure enough, it cut right through it, stayed above our final sell stop, but we've already been knocked out of half the position, and there's nothing really wrong with it. So hopefully it'll give us another add signal. We can add back to it if this market gets going again. But overall, this choppy tape continues, so this is going to keep happening. If you overreact to it, you're not really understanding what you're in the middle of. This is August and September. The New York Stock Exchange is death cross. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is death cross. The Dow Jones Transportation Average is under a death cross. So I wouldn't really expect anything to be really good again until we can get back above those 200-day moving averages on those indexes. But overall, things are just choppy. They don't look terrible. They don't look good either. So mixed market. Treat it that way.